My name is James Rellis. I am a proud member of our incredible worship arts team here at the Fresno Alluvial campus. Welcome to the Fresno Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. Welcome to everyone here on our virtual campus. Hello! Everyone here on our Alluvial campus, welcome. And everyone watching the service later on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. We are one congregation in many places. We pause to acknowledge that our Alluvial Avenue campus sits within the traditional homelands of the Yokut people. We honor their past, present, and future stewardship of this land. As Unitarian Universalists, we welcome you, no matter your race, culture of origin, age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, the amount of money in your bank account, the level of formal education, or your neurodiversity. You are welcome if you are gay, lesbian, bi, trans, non-binary, gender fluid, or questioning. You are welcome here with or without documentation. No one is illegal in the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. I'll say that again. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. All are welcome here. Our worship theme for the month of April is the path of resistance. Today we're going to be exploring a theme that pertains to nonviolence and pacifism. If you want to share your joys, concerns, sorrows, or gratitudes included in today's service, just text them at 559-209-4799. And again, that's 559-209-4799. Oh, I'm sorry. 4977. If you can, turn them in on the virtual campus. Do that right now, because if you want them shared later in the service. Now, I know Reverend Tim has an update about the pledge drive.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So, if you are among the small group who've still not turned in your pledge at Chris is admitting it, thank you, pledge at uufresno.org. Let's all say this to Chris so he'll do it. Pledge at uufresno.org. If you are on our virtual campus, you can take your phone and take it up to the, what is these things called here? QR code. Take it to QR code and you'll be able to make your pledge that way, lickety-split. Now our current pledge drive total, which rose considerably this past week, and that total is, drum roll please, $552,542. Woo! That is 85.53% of our total goal of $645,999. We only have $93,457 to go. So make your pledge today. And as further incentive, Chris, today is the final day of our 5,800 matching grant. So if it's a new pledge, we will match you dollar for dollar. And if you are increasing your pledge today, we will also match that dollar for dollar. So give yourselves and Chris a round of applause.
All right. Now in the chat box, in person or in the silence of your hearts, let's take a moment to say buenos dias and welcome each other.
I invite us, I should introduce myself. I'm Reverend Tim Kutzmark. My pronouns are he, him, and I have the great pleasure of serving as minister of this congregation. As we prepare to begin this exploration of nonviolence and pacifism, let's allow this ancient sound of the tingsha to carry us into that quiet place within that yearns to know peace, that yearns to be love.
Thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as a one, and I believe it could be someday it's going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train, sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on the peace train, oh peace train, holy roller, everyone jump upon the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on the peace train. Get your bags together, go bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, and soon we'll be with you. Now come and join the living,
it's not so
far from you. And it's getting nearer, soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train, sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on the peace train, the peace train. I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train, sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on the peace train,
everyone jumping on the peace.
Holy roller, everyone jump upon the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, peace train, yes, this is the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah. Come on, the peace train, the peace train. Ooh-ah-ee-ah-oh-ah.
Good morning. Buenos días a todos. Me llamo David Roberts. I'm David Roberts. My wife and I, Glenda, have been members of this church since the late 1990s. For many years, we were active members of the social justice team and coordinated a Friday night movie series here in the church. We also enjoyed working at the table and for the social justice table for many years. Part of this was promoting the interest in the Black Lives Matter movement. One of the projects that came out of the social justice team was putting up banners in the front of the church. After many church-wide discussions about this, we put the project in motion. I designed the banners and helped install them, making sure that all city codes were followed and all necessary permits were secured. The first set of banners was vandalized within two weeks. It was only about 6 feet tall. So we replaced them and proceeded to raise the poles about 6 feet higher. This was to require them to have a ladder if they get up there. Since then, the banners have not been vandalized to any extent. We've replaced the banners several times due to wind damage and summer heat. I seriously feel that it's a symbol to the community that this church stands for social justice. And So, to those of you in the virtual campus, if you have a candle or chalice, please bring it close as we're about to light the chalice. Today, on behalf of the Norelma Walker Youth Library here at the church, I'm lighting the chalice in honor of National Poetry Month. The library has a large selection of books and poetry for children, youth, and adults alike. The library is open every Sunday after church. So, in the spirit of love and blessings, I invite you to light the candle or light your chalice at home. As some of you may know, I'm very interested in haiku poetry, so I would like to share one with you this morning. It may be appropriate for the last month. Atmospheric river, over the floodplain, sandbags. Un río atmosférico sobre la llanura alluvial, sacos de arena. Let us rise now in body and spirit, and join in singing the song of praise, When Your Heart is in the Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom of each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
I invite us to remain standing as we say together this morning our church covenant. Usually we do the mission, but we're shaking it up this morning. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia, la búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es su oración. Habitar juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y servir a la humanidad juntos, con el fin de todas las almas puedan crecer en armonía con lo divino. Esto es lo que pactamos unos con otros. We affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. We strive to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. Please be seated. So I invite us to take in a nice deep centering breath, imagining as we do so we're breathing in peace. We hold a moment, we breathe out love. And again, a nice centering breath in, breathing in peace. We hold a moment, we breathe out love. One final time together, breathing in peace, holding, breathing out love. As we continue to breathe together, let's imagine that that breath can carry us back over the last 7 days, the last week that we have been alive. And as we breathe, 2 reflection questions. The first, when in the past week did you feel resistance to what life was bringing your way? Take a moment to breathe into that memory, to honor it, bless it, and breathe out that memory with your breath. Our second question, in the week ahead, how could you be more open to the flow of things? We create each week open space within our service to acknowledge that we're pretty darn complex human beings, and we're carrying with us this morning a great mixture of feelings, of emotions. Some of us chose to share a personal joy, concern, or sorrow and typed it into the chat box, or sent it in via text, or stopped at the small table at the entranceway to the church and wrote it down on a small card. This is just a snippet of what is alive in our hearts this morning. Bernadette is feeling grateful. It's a beautiful morning. Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. Makes me wish I had some hair. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Colby and Evan celebrating church member Jocelyn Cowder's 90th birthday. To Jocelyn this past Tuesday. I think 90 years deserves happy birthday. So let's sing. Day to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Jocelyn, happy birthday to you. Someone anonymous has a joy. They're heading out on a road trip and learning to ski on my 46th birthday. It's never too late to try new things. It's great. Deborah S. from our virtual campus has a joy that Bill S. has started his cross-country trip back east to Gettysburg. Please hold him in your hearts as he dodges snowstorms, floods, thunderstorms, tornadoes, and big trucks. Claire T. is feeling joy that the kids she coaches took the first place Fresno trophy in the rookie section of the state chess tournament yesterday. Oh, team trophy. So congratulations to the team and to Coach Claire extraordinaire. Leela is feeling gratitude, joy, and sorrow. My joy is spring break this week and salsa dancing. My sorrow is extended family using racially horrible words that cause pain and concern. I'm grateful for Stephen, my handsome husband, for trust and communication as we celebrate 10 years of Sacred Communion this month. Congratulations. And someone else has asked prayers for the hungry and the enslaved and for the consciousness of the free world, free and the well-fed. We also want to acknowledge that Passover begins this Thursday, even as Ramadan continues and Christians celebrate Good Friday at the end of the week. We also remember our beloveds, those unable to be with us today. Tony E., who is back home and quite happy about that. Margaret H., Bev F., Edith H., William H., Glenda R., and Pat M. We also ask on this day that you hold Sylvia W. in your hearts, in your prayers, holding her in light at this time. We also acknowledge yesterday the sanctuary was filled with much grief as well as celebration as we remember the extraordinary life of church member Dawn DeLosier, a world-renowned geneticist, a phenomenal mom, a rock star, a dear friend of many, a musician with Stolen Thunder who last sat right here and played her drums the first Sunday in February. We hold her in light as she is part now of the mysteries of death. We also grieve the shooting in Nashville, Tennessee at the Covenant School. 3 more children dead, 3 more adults dead. Common sense gun control laws and restrictions on who has access to firearms is a spiritual and moral necessity. This is the 3rd school shooting this year. We also grieve and denounce Kentucky's cruel and senseless attack on transgender kids and youth and their families. It forbids healthcare professionals to offer gender-affirming healthcare. It requires doctors to stop any gender-affirming healthcare that they have been already offering youth. It requires that students use only the bathroom of their gender assigned at birth, and it forbids any discussion of gender or sexuality in schools and classrooms from 1st grade to 12th grade. None at all. A disgrace. We also remember with sadness, Tuesday is the anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, April 3rd, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. May he rest in power. And so for all that we have shared, for everything that remains in the silence of our beating human hearts, for all those who have no one to remember them on this day, no one to speak their name with gentleness or kindness, we light our candle of community. By our remembering, may we and they be blessed. Our call to meditation, find a stillness.
2, 3.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness,
Spirit of life, fuente de amor, source of blessing, beautiful humanness, power beyond all naming. We celebrate a spring that is unfolding around us, a blue sky that is wide above us, an earth that is green below our feet. Gracias, gracias. We tremble. We tremble at headlines. We tremble as we wonder what comes next. Does this all begin again? And we wonder. We wonder. We fear. We grieve. And we know we're not alone. We know that there is a love holding us. There's a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We rest in this love.
Your voice still lingers on, and on it shines in me. You speak well of the night. I am familiar with this time. It's grace, it's tragedy. I am speaking your word. I am singing your words. I am feeling your words. Oh, death, you silent thing, what of your sting? I heard her on the line, her voice reflecting mine. And so she's with me now, a rare and precious thing, so like the dirge she sings. She captured me and how I am singing her words, I am still hearing her words, I am feeling her words. Oh death, you violent thing, what of your sting? Here you have no victory, no sting. I still hear her sing, you bring no misery. Here lingers on. You are alive in me.
Hello again. My name is James Rellis, he, him. When I wanted to share a reflection on this week's topic on nonviolence and pacifism. When I think of nonviolence and pacifism, I'm reminded of great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, Grace Lee Boggs. They were people in a community who saw a need, or who saw something and felt something in their souls. They felt something was wrong, and that wrong needed to be corrected. Putting word and voice to what the community was feeling and needed, allowing those who felt unheard, unseen, and forgotten to know they matter and they value. I'd like to share a story. If you look at me, some might assume that I've been in a fight or two. When I was younger, I did play football and wrestled in high school. And my friends would often comment, dude, you got a boxer's build, or even, man, those knuckles could cut somebody. And even, man, I wouldn't want to be on your bad side. And they were partially right. I do have broad shoulders. My knuckles can cut somebody if I needed to. But my temper, let's just say it's improved quite a bit since high school. So, but the thing is, I prefer the pretty things, the softer things, like music and flowers and theater and dance, more akin to Ferdinand the Bull with the horns and the stature. I would prefer frolicking the fields, watching the flowers grow, feeling the wind on my head, rather than chasing the Copa de Brega. Like Ferdinand, I was content with my flowers. That was until the summer of 2020. When I was having to explain to coworkers and the owner of the company I was working at, no, that's hate, not heritage. Wait, so if we take down the statue, we're going to forget who he was? I'm sorry. That was a murder. I don't care what he was accused of. If you know the story of Ferdinand, that was my bee, spurring me into action, into the stadium with the bandoleros and the matadors, their weapons sharpened and ready to strike. But I don't have to fight like they do, because the causes we're fighting for are just and moral. We just have to smell the flowers and remember that, like Ferdinand did. Easier said than done, right? So, how do we respond? If you couldn't tell, my first response is to ball up my fist and shout, "That's wrong! Can't you see you're hurting people?" It makes me feel good, it makes me feel seen, and it makes me feel valued. But is it helping or hurting? A nonviolent mindset doesn't mean that you avoid conflict. Quite the contrary. We are aware of the injustices that most people don't care or see. Those injustices become the moral and just cause we fight for, not as some cudgel or some sense of moral superiority. It reminds us and connects us to our flowers. Those causes allow us to create the beautiful bouquet we call Fresno. Causes like the unabashed support for the LGBTQIA and BLM, giving voice to those forgotten by society, the refuge to whom society has deemed unworthy of food or even shelter, the immigrant fleeing the war-torn country where we may or may not have started the conflict, the gun violence, and the list goes on and on and on, and we still have our flowers. Now, nonviolence in practice takes practice, and boy, can I use some. Having the self-restraint not to ball your fist as you feel the fire and tongue on your tongue and teeth as they sharpen that well-crafted response, your heart begins to beat the war drums and your eyes narrow in on your prey, ready to unfurl that one response you know will change their mind. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Take a beat. Remember, we have more in common than our differences. So instead, let's listen. Let's hear their stories. Let's hear their pain and their concern for the community. It's the same one, by the way. And maybe by listening, we can connect through community. I'd like to close it with part of Cesar Chavez's "He Showed Us the Way" speech from Mary Knowles magazine, 1978. 1978. Is it 68? Okay, I'm sorry, Mary Knowles magazine. He showed us the way. We are also convinced that nonviolence is more powerful than violence. Nonviolence will support you if you have a just and moral cause. Nonviolence provides the opportunity to stay on the offensive, and that is of critical importance to win any contest. Any contest. My amazing wife, Liz, has experience with Planned Parenthood, and I know there are others here that have years of experience and know-how in activism. I want to close with this. We are the community that supports the just and moral causes. Thank you.
Let's join our voices in song. Peace will come. May it be so. Please rise and body your spirit.
2, 3, 4.
Begin with me. We need peace. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Oh, let my life be led for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come. Let it begin with me. begin with me. We need peace. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Oh, let my life be led for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come. Let it begin with me.
Please be seated. And let's show our appreciation for Stolen Thunder. And I think also let's show our appreciation for James. That was the first reflection he's ever done in this sanctuary. Yeah. My hat is off to you, James. Spectacular. Today's service introduces this month's worship theme, the path of resistance. And I want to begin with a trigger warning. The sermon that I'm going to share contains descriptions of physical violence, domestic violence, the violence of war. It also mentions death by suicide. Please, please, please care for your spirit and your emotions. Hatred is never appeased by hatred. Hatred is only appeased by empathy and understanding. This is an eternal law. So said the Buddha. Dear ones, how I wish we could cease our practice of war. How I wish that the world's preferred weapons of mass destruction, 20, 21, and 22-year-olds, would be forever spared the hell of battle, the nightmare of broken bodies, the horror of dying while crying out to a compassionless sky, or a life lived within the impact of trauma. Historian Will Durant has calculated that there have been only 29 years in recorded human history during which war was not underway somewhere. 29 years. The impact of war has grown with our capability to invent new methods and machines of warfare, including today's morally contested drone strikes. Chris Hedges writes in his fascinating book, "War is the force that gives us meaning." He says, in the wars between 1900 and 1999, not less than 62 million civilians have perished. Nearly 20 more than the 43 million military personnel killed. In the last 100 years, an estimated 105 million people have died because of war, more than in any time in recorded history. I think it's safe to say that we, as a Unitarian Universalist people of faith, acknowledge the horrific nature of war. We may feel that war is necessary and support military action in certain cases, but almost none of us, as a matter of course, would choose war as the preferred option. Our Unitarian Universalist faith calls us not to be a warring people. Our Unitarian Universalist faith calls us to be a peace-attempting people struggling with the specter of violence in our world. Now, I admit from the start that I am completely biased in this regard. I recoil from violence. It's my knee-jerk reaction. My gut response is violence in any form is bad. War is bad. Leaders and governments that send armies into battle are wrong. And yet, I know that I'm wrong in saying that. I know that I'm oversimplifying things, that with such a clear-cut statement, I am hiding from the complexities of life, hiding from the reality of creating safety in this world. I also know that my anti-violence, anti-war stance is a reaction caused by two things: my own personal experience with violence and my own wrong understanding of some key spiritual teachings. First, experience. Before we can discuss violence or war, we must be honest about what creates our gut responses. And so I ask with tenderness and care, what is your experience of violence? I recoil from violence because I have felt in a very, very small way the pain it can cause. I know that many here today have experienced violence in some form, including war. And I want to honor that experience. One of my earliest memories is from first grade. I remember running down the street towards home, being chased by an older boy who was hitting me on the head with his metal lunchbox. I remember my mom standing in the driveway crying, but refusing to stop the hitting because it was time for me to learn to stand up for myself. Was she right to stand by and watch me get hurt in order to make me tougher and stronger? Did I learn to stand up for myself that afternoon? What I learned was that metal lunchboxes hurt my head. Those metal lunchboxes turned into metal lockers as I grew older. I was skinny, and I was what back then the other boys called a sissy, or as my mom would say, sensitive. Sensitive boys are ripe for slamming into lockers, for name-calling, and for fists. I was easy prey for the bigger boys. I guess I was supposed to learn how to defend myself and fight back, but I never did. Instead, I learned to be afraid of hallways and the guys who played on the high school football team. And now I am sensitive to anyone, be it a person or a country, that might use power to bully others, that might use force to force their views and their values on anyone. But the violence that most shaped me was the violence in my home. I know firsthand how a father's fist can hurt a body and crush a spirit. I know how anger can explode into physicality that seems impossible to escape. Thankfully, my family did our healing and found our way to peace. But I'm still really sensitive to anyone, be it a person or a country, who might use explosions of anger to dominate and control, who might use violence because they don't know how to talk, how to reason, to seek alternatives. And so, I admit, because of my experience, I recoil from violence. How does your experience inform your response to violence, to war? how could it be different from the person next to you? In terms of spirituality, I also recoil from violence. As I looked at the great wisdom traditions, especially the gentle teachers of Buddhism who inform much of my worldview, I heard the path of peace lifted up as the true way. I heard the teaching of ahimsa, or non-violence, espoused by the great Buddhist teachers of India. I heard the Buddha teach that violence only plants seeds for more violence until 105 million people can be killed in just 100 years. But I was looking only at the surface of these teachings. Could my own experience be coloring what I heard and read about the Buddha and about peace? Now, I believe that these questions are especially relevant in relation to the war in Ukraine and our country's ongoing level of armament support. First, just to ask, who here would identify themselves as a peacenik, anti-war, pro-peace? Just by who would wear that? Okay, great. But I do know that some of us are struggling because some of you have shared this with me. We're struggling, caught between our long-standing anti-war, pro-peace sentiments and our desire to see Russia's aggression stopped and the Ukraine remain a sovereign nation. Buddhist scholar Andrew Olensky writes, a question that has been coming up a lot lately is this: according to the teaching of Buddha, and I think that's the next slide, according to the teachings of the Buddha, is violence ever justified? The short answer, he says, is no. But in a longer answer that probes more carefully some of the practical dimensions of the human condition, there may be grounds for modifying this position. The Buddha, you see, understood that we're all living out different roles in the world. We're all on different paths. Therefore, what is right for someone who has chosen, say, the path of a contemplative monk is a different role and path than one who is, let's say, an army general, a soldier, or the leader of a nation. Dr. Paul Fleshman writes, the Buddha did not teach social and political philosophy. He taught a path of life, not a blanket ideology. Guiding each interested individual to walk the path, the Buddha encouraged a pure mind that seeks the least harm. But he recognized different roles and obligations, different responsibilities and necessities incumbent on different individuals. The Buddha realized not all people are called or expected in this lifetime to live the life of an enlightened being. To expect the soldier or a king to act with the same heart-centered compassion as the monk is foolish, says the Buddha. Each has a different role and is at a different place in their journey of life. Did you know that in all the teachings of the Buddha, he never once told any of his pupils who were soldiers to put down their arms? He never told any of the kings who studied with him to cease their warring or condemn them for going into battle or fulfilling their governmental function. Dr. Paul R. Fleshman says, none of this, however, justifies hatred or violence in service of personal goals or gains. For the government employee who, for example, as a soldier must kill, the Buddha asks a question. Can you do this task as an upholder of safety and justice, focused on love for whom you protect, rather than hate for those you must kill? A fervent champion of self-awareness and compassion, the Buddha challenged them and us to look into our own hearts. He challenged them and us to ask, what is the motivation for our actions? What is the motivations for our actions? And then to ask again, am I sure of that? Knowing ourselves and knowing why we do something is his goal. So knowing ourselves and knowing our motivation is the Buddha's goal. So for example, let's turn back the clock 22 years to the time right after the September 11th terrorist attacks on America. Less than a month after the attacks, the U.S. bombing of Afghanistan began, followed by the insertion of U.S. Special Forces and then finally ground troops. Immediately after September 11th, a Buddhist perspective, and I would say a spiritual perspective, had to ask why we were attacking Afghanistan. Was the outrage in the country so overwhelming and galvanizing because 3,000 lives were lost in the attacks? And this was unacceptable. Was it because we could not risk any more deaths to terrorism? Was it because life is so precious that we cannot allow any of our citizens to be at risk? Perhaps that's the case. But a spiritual person must look deeper and ask even bigger and more encompassing questions. A spiritual person must ask, as Dr. Paul R. Fleischman does, how do terrorists compare to other forces of destruction? Do the 3,000 deaths at the World Trade Center mean more than the 30,000 people who die in the United States every year by suicide? Personal terrorism that gets little attention. What about the approximately 50,000 people who die in violent car attacks annually? What about violence against the environment that might eventually eliminate all human life entirely? We say we need to protect ourselves, and we do need to protect ourselves, so why have we also not declared a public war on death by suicide, car accidents, and climate change, all possibly preventable and that have already claimed many more lives than terrorism? Why the energy around terrorism? Is it because it's convenient and popular? And why the inaction in other areas? Is it because that would be inconvenient and unpopular? Because it would cause us to talk about mental illness? Because it would cause us to talk about easy access to guns that are used in many suicides? Because it would cost us to talk about driving with distractedness or carelessness? Because it would cause us to talk about personal responsibility and our own impact on the environment? If we truly want to protect ourselves and make the world a safer place, why not marshal our energy and resources for the other causes of death as well? The Buddha challenges us to search our hearts for the honest answers before we declare war on anything. Be aware, says the Buddha. Know the motivation for action, and know the motivation for choosing not to take action. And what about nonviolence versus pacifism? Did the Buddha believe that nonviolence and pacifism are the same things, that they are both always paths to peace? The answer, dear ones, is no. Nonviolence is different from pacifism. Pacifism is the belief that doing harm, that violence, war, and the taking of lives is always an unacceptable way of resolving disputes. It is a refusal to take up arms or participate in war under any circumstances. But could not pacifism sometimes allow a greater wrong to be perpetrated? Is restraint from action, from war, an act of peace or an act of violence if the resulting death from inaction is monumental? The world refused to stop Hitler early in his expansion, even though it was obvious what his obvious motives were in terms of world domination and the slaughter of Jews. Historians say that if the United States and Europe had acted early when Hitler's troops and territory were small and contained, World War II and that horrific slaughter could have been prevented. Will the same thing be said about us and the civil war in Syria? Over 310,000 killed and millions displaced. Will the same thing be said about us and Ukraine if certain right-wing or fascist politicians have their way? The Buddha did not teach war, but he did not teach pacifism either. He taught nonviolence, creating the least possible harm in a situation. Paul R. Fleischman notes, even Gandhi suggested there were times when not killing might actually be a form of implicit violence. He writes, did you imagine the Buddha as a yielder, as someone toadying to the unrepentant murderer? Did you imagine the Buddha building alliances with tyrants to keep the current calm, claiming unprincipled enabling as peacemaking? Buddha did not prescribe that humankind lie down before great wrongdoing or evil. He taught a lifetime path to shape a new humanity, starting with oneself and spread by inspirational example. From this perspective, it's clear that the Buddha imagined a world that would eventually become so self-aware and so aware of the preciousness of human life that no person would think to harm another. But the Buddha was not naive. He knew that day was far away and probably just a dream. But dream we must, and work toward that day we must. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Feel the cool breeze blowing through the smoke and the heat. Hear the gentle voices and the marching feet. Singing, call back the fire, draw the missiles down, and we'll call this place our home. Peace is the bread we shall never be again. Peace is the bread we break. Love is the river rolling. Life is a chance we take when we make this earth our home. Gonna make this earth our home. Peace grows from a tiny seed as the acorn grows into the tallest tree. Many years ago I heard the soldiers say, when the people want peace, better get out of the way. Peace is the bread we break. Love is the river rolling. Life is the chance we take when we make this earth our home. Peace is the bread we break. Love is a river rolling. Life is a chance we take when we make this earth our home. Gonna make this earth our home.
All right. Hello again, James Rellis, he, him, serving gratefully here, thankfully. I want to, getting ready to close here. When my family and I first walked through the doors here at the Fresno Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, we really weren't sure what we were looking for. We just knew we had a bit of spare time on Sundays, and we just needed a place where Millie can make some friends. If you're aware, I have a little 4-year-old, and she needed friends. She's been a quarantine kid, so this was a great place for that. In no way did we expect to find, in every sense of the word, a community like this. No idea. The connection we have here has not only been a shared experience of learning and growth, but deep affirmation of my beliefs and what I've always felt in respect for all living things, social justice, and also the inherent worth of every human being. In this spirit, please join us in our closing our words of offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? There's a slide showing different ways you can share. We also have baskets on the side door over here if you're on the Alluvial Ave campus. No matter which campus you're on, you are also invited to use your smartphone and make the contribution through Cash App using $UU Fresno. Again, that's $UU Fresno. If you are on our virtual campus, perhaps this is the moment where you make your first kind contribution. Thank you for that. Or perhaps you're here on our Alluvial campus and this is your first time. Thank you as well. Or perhaps you just can't and finances are really tight. Just know you being here alone, you watching online is a gift in itself. Thank you. May this church continue to be worthy of its many forms of its gifts. Now, as we close out today's service, I want to thank you, everyone here on the Alluvial campus, our virtual campus, and on Facebook and YouTube. We are this community that supports the just and moral causes. Whether it be with your time, your finances, or your abilities, all are welcome, and we are part of the beautiful bouquet we call UU Fresno. As we prepare to end the service, Let's join in our chalice extinguishing words led by Karen and Troy.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Now, Tim, I think, I think it says you have reminders here for us.
I do. But again, let's hear it for Stolen Thunder. Marina as our vocalist today, and also James as worship associate. I just got to say, we got a lot of talent in this church. So, real quick, how to exit. If you are in our socially distanced side, please allow yourselves to head out first, followed by everybody else. You can use whatever door you want after that. Outside, we'll be awaiting coffee hour as well as a question and answer table with a board member. So if you're new or newish and you have lots of questions, there will be a fascinating board member there to engage. Also, it's just great to know there's somebody to talk to, because if you're an introvert, stepping out there can be a little overwhelming. And speaking of someone that you will want to talk to, Patty Bennett is our coordinator of community life. Her sole purpose on earth is to serve your needs if you are new or newest to this church. And she is here to guide you into becoming involved if that is something you want. So talk to Patty after the service as well. Also today, after our service, we have our 8th principle conversation. The teams have been meeting and talking about how to implement the new 8th principle here in the church that addresses white supremacy culture. If you would like to be part of that important conversation, there will be a table. Will it be inside or outside? It will be inside, and I think Lisa is going to be leading it, and Lisa's great. Also, really, really important, as you leave our Alluvial Avenue sanctuary, you will be handed a slip of paper by members of our social justice team. Allensworth, California is the first town in California to be founded, financed, and governed by Black people. This is now a town under attack by floodwaters, some of which are deliberately being sent to surround this town and wipe out this Black community. There is an urgent need for simple items, including flashlights, batteries, diapers, as this community tries to survive greed caused by those who would like to continue to contain water rights. So right at that door, please take a slip and give as you are able. Last but not least, we like to invite folks who are here for the first, second, or third time. We do it not to embarrass you, but you could have been anywhere on this really gorgeous day. You chose to be here, and we would like to say thank you. So if this is your first, second, or third time, could you rise for just a moment? We won't leave you standing. I know it's terrible. It's so scary. We won't leave you standing alone for long. Welcome, 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 welcome. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them for our closing words and our sung benediction. You can join hands if you came in a pod, otherwise hands over your heart. Our closing words come from Israel Bufardi. My friends, when you go from here, know that our hearts are always in a holy place, for we are always connected to one another. Know that deep down our hearts beat in one universal rhythm. May we each find the sacred space to hear it. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
2, 3, 4.
May we have safe passage, safe passage. May we have safe
Shalom and assalamu alaikum.
2, 3, 4.